Welcome to Pinhole Quilting. I'm posting this video. It won't be live today because unfortunately there isn't enough mobile signal here, so we've recorded this on site at Little Comberton, which is very close to where we are at Pinhole Quilting, not far from Pershore. And we've got some lovely quilters here, but more importantly, we have a church at Little Comberton completely decked out with quilts and looks fantastic. And I'm going to introduce the quilters who are here so that you can learn a bit more about what's happening tomorrow at Little Comberton Street Market, which is on tomorrow afternoon, which is the bank holiday Saturday. So over to, first of all, Pauline.
Yeah,
if you can...
I'm Pauline, and I've lived in Little Comberton now for 8 years. And as soon as I arrived, I got sucked into the street market, which is an annual event. And bizarrely, 8 years ago, there was a quilting exhibition in the church,
right,
which is what sucked me into Snowdrops. And it was absolutely wonderful. And the last meeting that we had a bit of an issue about what we were going to display in the church. And so I offered the quilts. So it's two groups now, isn't it? The Comberton Quilters and Pershore Patches and Snowdrop Quilters have mounted the exhibition in the church.
Okay, so Pauline, you live in Little Comberton, and this street market that's on tomorrow, just tell us a little bit about that and what's going on, as well as what's in the church. And we'll cover what's in the church in more detail.
Well, the street market takes place in Manor Lane, which is a beautiful little road.
It's really stunning.
Lined by black and white thatched cottages. It's an annual event. We're in our 39th year, so next year, our 40th year, is going to be a big celebration, I should think. It involves pretty much the entire village. We all run stalls one way or another. So the whole little street is just lined with stalls on either side. And oh goodness me, you can buy strawberries and asparagus,
which are very good this year, by the way. The strawberries.
Yeah. And then, yes, there's a big plant stall. We have
there's wood turning, I think, isn't there?
There's wood turning, yes. The Deer Park Hall winery vineyard is just close by, so they come along as well. We have all the usual, the vintage and collectibles, and there's a children's area, and pork baps and a beer tent. So what more could you...
Absolutely, I understand. So Pauline's husband Nigel has been allocated the pork baps.
He has, so right next door to the beer tent.
There's a job for everybody at the Little Comberton Street Market, and Nigel has been promoted to pork baps this year, right? Yeah, so it's fantastic. And I have to say, having been here as well, because Pete and I were cycling through Little Comberton last year, and we stopped in, and it's absolute quintessentially English, beautiful countryside around here. And the lane is superb. It's all these beautiful half-timbered houses and lots of people.
And all the vintage cars as well.
Vintage cars,
and we have
steam.
The steam engine this year coming as well. So it's set to be a really good one.
Yeah, so definitely if you're thinking what to do over the bank holiday weekend, come to Little Comberton
absolutely.
and support Little Comberton Street Market. But more importantly, come to the church where this fantastic, we're going to go through and show you the quilts that are on display. So Jan, tell us about your quilting journey as well.
Well, I've had a long arm machine for since 2013, but I've been quilting for a long time before that. And I've known Pauline for several years as well, and we've kind of grown together. But having got into the long arming, it's really accelerated our learning skills, and it's really made such a huge difference.
Yeah,
there's no stopping us now.
No, absolutely. So I often joke actually that Comberton Quilters, of which I'm an erstwhile member, I say erstwhile because I seem to work far too much and don't get a chance. I come for the important things is the kick-off potentially in New Year and the Christmas lunch. I usually make one or either of those. But the thing is that how many long armers are in the quilt group? So I reckon it's about 50% of the group is actually... There you go, more than 50% have got a long arm. I'm not saying we're influential in that, but we have introduced a number of you to each other.
But it makes us very competitive as well, doesn't it?
Well, you're always upping your skills.
One another as well, learning from one another is just, it's a very supportive environment, really.
Yes, it is. And actually, one of the things that I've really noticed is the skill levels, because, I mean, the Group Quilt, the Comberton Group Quilt, won at Festival of Quilts last year. Was it the year before? Year before. And got was shortlisted last year with the Beatles quilt.
Yes.
So the award-winning quilt was at the far end. At Malvern this year, did you get something for that one?
Yes, we got second place in the group that we were in.
Yep. And Jan, you got two rosettes.
Two rosettes. One which was all my own work, and one which was a group quilt as well.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So some real skills that are continually just evolving, which is brilliant.
Yeah, we push ourselves and we encourage each other.
That's fantastic. So Sadie, tell us a bit about your quilting, because you're part of the Snowdrops quilters.
We have a group which we call Pershore Patchers and Snowdrop Quilters. They were originally two separate groups, but we've merged them now.
Right.
And I'm a member of that group. We've got over 30 members, and we run a programme throughout the year of talks and workshops, all abilities from beginners through to more experienced.
Yeah.
We do all sorts of different techniques, and we just love sharing our craft and what we do, and teaching people those skills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we've got a machine that we've set up here that you're going to do this lovely quilt on and demonstrate quilting. So this is the Amara. It's just on a studio demo frame, so it's nice and small, so it fits in here nicely. We got it in the car. And it's going to be available for you guys to quilt on and for people to see how to quilt a quilt. Yeah. And we're going to go and have a look at the quilts now. Okay, so what we're going to do now, we're just going to walk around the beautiful church that we've got here. And in the background, I don't know if you've noticed, the gentleman there is Ted. He is, I haven't given him a microphone because, like a lot of quilting widows, he's very much in the background, but an important support for the quilting and the long arm quilting that goes on. That's true, isn't it, Jan? Absolutely. So, yeah, there are a lot of husbands who support. Long suffering. Yeah. Food doesn't come. Ready meals, that kind of thing. Okay, so we're going to start this end of the church. So I'm just going to swing round because look at that. These beautiful quilts. So, okay, let's start here with this
quilt. The idea of this quilt came from Sandra Gray, who is one of the members of the Comberton Quilters. And she really wanted to do something to honour the Beatles, but also to start with this sort of black and white area to reflect Abbey Road. So about 15 of us, I think, were involved in this. And there are 20 blocks in it, and put together mainly by Elaine and Sandra, and Marlene Chaffee quilted it. And we are really proud of it. It's just recently taken second place at Malvern and was shortlisted at Festival of Quilts, so we were thrilled to bits. We have a nice price tag on there. As the Comberton Quilters, we get together and just enjoy quilting, enjoy piecing, enjoy each other's company. And once we've created a quilt, our aim really is to try and raise money for charity. And this year our charity is Acorns, which is a local charity to the Midlands. But the work in that was absolutely stunning. It took us about a year, I suppose, to make that one, didn't it, Jan?
Yeah. So the Acorns charity, is that that's the one for the children who've got
Children's Hospice.
Children's Hospice, that's right. It's a fantastic charity.
Yeah,
so
any profits that we make from these quilts will go to Acorns this year.
Yeah. I think one of the things that I really feel about this quilt is the creativity that came about as a result of having these very, very well-known songs. We all know many of the Beatles songs, but actually thinking about what block you would do to kind of symbolise those songs was really good.
Yeah, once we were allocated our quilt, it was a completely individual choice, our individual design for each block.
Yes.
And I'm really pleased with the way it's come together. It's really cohesive.
Yeah.
Even though we all... And the other good thing about this, about working on a quilt of this type, is that it suits every range and ability and taste.
Absolutely.
So
yes.
Yeah.
So you've got some people who are strong on the embroidery, so applique. There's some just really creative things. It gives you sort of free rein to be creative, and yet you're working as a group. It's a great idea. By the way, I love the way the sun is coming through that red and white quilt. It's amazing. It's like stained glass.
Like a stained glass.
Yeah,
isn't it?
absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
So, do you want to sort of pick out, are there any quilts down here that you want to particularly pick out?
Well,
as
all of
interesting?
these quilts, I don't know, do you want to say something about it, Jan?
What about the Sorrow ones?
The Sorrow Row, yeah.
Yes. Our Sorrow Row quilts. That was another project. That was your project, really, wasn't it, Jan? It was your idea to do that.
Yeah.
And
So the sewer row, so just explain how that worked and how you
well,
each did.
We each started off putting a collection of fabric together, and it was a monthly project over 7 months. The first month, everybody made a row of houses. When they'd finished that row, they passed it on to the next person, who would, using the same fabrics, do the next month's theme, which was animals, and then we had trees and toys and something to do with the beach.
I love the little caravans in this.
that was transport, I think.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
Oh,
transport.
sweet.
Yes.
So it went round, and at the end of the project, you got your original bag back with everybody's rows that had been added, and then it was up to you to put the whole quilt together. So we ended up with 10 or 12 quilts at the end of the project.
Yes, 12 quilts altogether.
And although they started off with a common theme, they all came out so different.
Oh, they were very different, and
there's-
we've only
there's
got
another
2 of
one.
them left actually, and that
Yeah.
was the second one.
We have sold a few of them. There's
Yeah.
another one up there. But it's a really fun project because you never know quite what you're going to get back at the end of it to finish off.
No, it's brilliant. And again, it's just that sort of creativity that you can choose what you do on each of those rows. You've got some smaller projects. So these by individual quilters that you've got on the back here.
Individual
Brilliant.
projects.
I love the scenes. Was that a workshop you did?
Yes.
And who was that
This
with?
was Trees Lane.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Trees Lane.
on these 2. So
That was
I
really
think
fun. I
this
love
one
that.
And that one were done on the same day by
Yeah.
2 different people. So again,
That's really
it's lovely to see
so
individuals' choices
Yes.
coming out. It's
I love the way on both of them you've got the design going off into the border. You know, it's like it's coming out. The scene is coming out of the picture frame.
Quite a few of these in the show. I think there's another couple more for people to see, and they're also individual.
Yes.
You know, we used to start off with the basic idea, but
Yeah.
we all took it to a slightly different place.
Oh, it's fantastic. Love those. Okay, so there's more quilts, some of which again are for sale. So, you know, raising funds for charity, which is an important part of Comberton Quilters. So, I mean, you have a few different purposes, don't you? You know, oh, I love that. Whose is that? That's really
mine.
cute. Oh,
Yeah, now that was a Snowdrops challenge some years ago. We were given a piece of fabric to do what we wanted with it. Didn't really, you know, it was your own choice, and I had no idea what to do. And in the end, I used the pattern repeat, and I embroidered on the pattern and used the rest of the fabric to create a border.
that's really
So
sweet.
I really loved doing
Yeah, I
that.
love
It reminds
that.
me of the summer
Yeah.
when I sat there doing it.
Gosh, I mean, we've got jackets and cushions, and the nice thing as well is that the church, I mean, it's just brought the whole place to life with all these quilts in it, hasn't it? And we've got these little side places where there's more quilts on display. Whose is the green?
Oh, the
Who's
green. Now, this was a complete scrap quilt. And that's something else I haven't mentioned. 90% of the fabric we use has been donated. So it's all sort of kind of recycled. So we were donated quite a lot of green jelly rolls.
Right.
And then we just, you know, kind of looked around and added to it. And that was made in a day.
Wow.
Literally.
Wow.
We get together once a month and we each do a block.
Yes.
It might have been the top was made in a day, but the
Quilting.
took a bit longer.
Yes. And the quilting is great. Who did the quilting? Pauline, that's brilliant. See, not only is she talented at doing mail order at Pinhole Quilting, but actually she's an incredible quilter. And we know that one is more skills than another, I'm sure. Marlene, absolutely amazing. Love this.
The quilting on there is absolutely exquisite.
I had no idea that this exhibition was going to be as phenomenal as this.
Oh,
Honestly, I'm blown away by what you've done. It really is. I mean, look at this.
another one of Marlene's.
Marlene, you're a superstar.
She's very talented.
She is. So Marlene bought a Handi Quilter from us when she was living down in Devon, Holsworthy, I think it was. And in fact, we met somebody at Malvern who knew Marlene as well. So yeah, and Marlene moved up here, and it was during COVID. And as I recall,
That's right.
yep. So the story went that Pete went and did the installation for Marlene. And it was very difficult for her to meet people because of the isolation of COVID. And I think we put her in touch with you guys.
Yes.
And it's just been fantastic because it was a way for Marlene to meet other quilters. And it would have been so difficult otherwise. And now she lives local to
She does.
here.
And she is actually recovering at the moment.
I know.
From an operation.
So yes, best wishes from all of us.
Absolutely.
For a speedy
Sending our
recovery.
love. Yeah.
Yeah. And I love this one. Now, who quilted that one?
Abigail.
Abigail. So Abigail
yes.
Sharon de Graaf
She
quilted
led
this.
group. She led this project.
Right.
So what happens is that whoever's leading the project has to choose the pattern and then cut all the fabric.
Right.
And this is all fabric that was left over from another quilt that we're making at the moment.
Right.
So she led all of this, and then she put those stars together and quilted it.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I love the contrast of the quilting, very, very circular, etc., to the stars design. So it works really well.
So I imagine that was done on a pro stitcher. Those circles are absolutely exquisite.
I would say so. I think you're absolutely right. Yeah. I think Abigail's good, but I think that is a pro stitcher design. It's very it fills the wadding really well, doesn't it? Creates a great texture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and then we've got a giraffe over here. So anyway, there's loads of other quilts, and we're going to have a look just through here.
Yeah.
And we're working our way up to the award-winning Group Quilt, which I think I'm just going to focus on. Look at that. Absolutely brilliant. And actually, this church has got the most stunning tiles in it. These are, do you know how old these are? Because they're not.
I think the main part of the church was built in the 17th century, but there was a church on this site even earlier in the Middle Ages.
Yeah.
So it's, in fact, even before that, I think it's the site of a Roman temple.
Is it?
As well, yeah.
Wow.
And Little Comberton goes back to the Domesday Book.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
yeah,
It's incredible. They're quite. They look like medieval floor tiles, but
inspirational
probably.
for quilting.
Absolutely. Yeah. Look at this. There we go. There's a quilt design just there. So who did this one?
This was Caroline and Nikki.
Yeah.
And
It's called Chatsworth.
yes,
They
they cut all the fabrics, and we put it together, and Nikki quilted that one.
That's lovely. So Caroline and Nikki, both long armers. Both
Yes,
got handy
yes.
quilt.
So Nikki has an Amara, and
Caroline
Caroline's
has-
got a Moxie.
Yeah. Yeah. Amazing.
Two of our quilters.
Yeah. And this one.
Isn't that
Oh,
beautiful?
this is by Eleanor Marsden, who's a member of Pershore and Snowdrop Quilters. This quilt is absolutely stunning. It's actually done with translucent fabrics.
Yes.
So hopefully tomorrow we will have a light behind it, and you can actually see. It's based on Chartres Rose Window.
Oh, beautiful. It's
so
incredibly well done.
it's incredibly complicated.
No
to do
kidding.
As well, yeah. It's actually as good on the back as it is on the front.
Wow. There's some real skill. Yes, some lighting on that from the back would look amazing. So I'm just going to get in a bit closer as well. So you can see that. There's a bit of light behind it. That's brilliant. Okay.
Took some planning.
Yes.
Beautiful.
And here we go. So this was, look at those rosettes. Can we just say, award-winning Group Quilt. Absolutely beautiful. And we love, the design is great. And obviously, is it an Adidas?
It's an Adidas sitar
Yes.
design, yes.
Who, of course, is coming to Festival of Quilts this year.
Yes.
So I guess you guys are going to the talk, are you? By any
She's
chance?
your heroine, isn't she?
Yeah. I think the thing about Adita is not only is she very skilled, she's really funny as well. Have you been to one of her talks or seen her talk?
I see a lot of her things online.
She's hilarious.
She is.
She's absolutely hilarious. She's got this real sort of bit of a wacky sense of humour, I think, but actually makes me laugh a lot. So I think you'll enjoy the talk. But the complementary quilting is the thing that's the standout for this, which is probably why, or one of the reasons why it's won awards, because it's things like, I'm going to point out the watering can.
Yes, isn't that lovely?
Yeah. So the watering can down here in the far right, it's actually got quilting lines coming out of it, like there's water coming out of it. And it's sort of indicative of the way that Marlene, when she quilts something, she really thinks about what she's quilting and how to echo what's
I love the way she's
in it.
continued.
Continued the vine has then
Hope you can see that.
continued on the
And dropped down into the blocks.
Yes, absolutely. So in that top right, underneath the rake with the bird, it drops down into that row.
Yeah.
And then underneath, you've got a flower at the bottom row, and the flower grows up with quilting that shows the leaves of a vine coming out of the pot. It's just beautiful. It's a very playful use of quilting, actually. And it's fantastic. There's a little tuffet down there as well. It just shows the variety of things we can do with quilting. And there's also around here, try not to make everybody seasick with this. Look at this church. It's brilliant. It's the Sashiko corner. So again, another aspect of quilting, which shows some real skill. And I love the simplicity of Sashiko, sort of from the Japanese. And very often done on slightly open weave fabric, which enables you to use the Japanese Sashiko cotton to produce some beautiful designs. And there's some lovely examples here. So there we go. That's a little bit of a taster. But you've got to come to Little Comberton. There we go. There's the back of the Chartres window. Just
on the back.
It is fantastic. So just want to say thank you all for being in my video. No arm twisting needed.
Yeah.
No, not much. But anyway, no, it's been absolutely brilliant. Thank you for explaining the quilts. Thank you for exhibiting here, because I think, sharing what you do, when you're doing it in a group like you do in your own homes, people don't know the extent of what quilting is. So if you're around the area in Worcestershire, not too far from Pershore, and you want to come along between 2 and 5, I think it is.
That's right.
There's a small charge for entry, but then once you're on the little street, which is at the back of Little Comberton, you've got access to all the little shops and things, and there's food. Don't forget Nigel's pork baps. and there's an Amara in the church that will be demonstrating how to do long arm quilting.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you all.
Well, thank you, Liz.
All right, good luck tomorrow. So we were just going to do the final bits, walking back down. Ted's still here, no? There he is.
waiting patiently.
He's waiting patiently. He's a patient other half to Jan. So Jan, you've had your Avanti for about, what did we say, 13 years?
13 years.
13 years.
It's
It's amazing.
Going well.
Yeah. So this is one of the quilts that you entered in the Malvern Quilt Show, for which you got a judge's merit. It's for sale.
For sale, yes, hopefully. Let's see if I can bear to part with it, because it's been in my sewing room for a little while, and it gives me pleasure every time I look at it.
Yeah.
And I went to the Malvern Quilt Show knowing that I'd got a couple of entries in there, and I saw my first entry, which was my own, had got a judge's merit rosette, and I was almost in tears. And then I went round the corner and saw that this one had got one as well.
That's amazing.
And I just had so much fun with this. We started off just making strippy hearts. Everybody brought scraps of pink being my absolute favourite colour.
Yeah, Jan is a pink person. I'm a pink person, and I endorse your pinkness. I think it's great.
So everybody made a few hearts and appliqued them onto a 6-inch square, and then I spent some time making little tiny pinwheels. I am the queen of half-thread bindles. And
They are tiny.
I set them in the background, and then I quilted it, and I just let the feathers flow. And so I've got
Yes,
feathers tickling the hearts.
it's
So it's
beautiful.
called tickled pink hearts.
Gosh, those points on your pinwheels. Did you have to use a hammer to flatten them, or were they okay?
They were okay.
They're okay. Good. Fantastic. Thank you, Jan.
Thank you.
And here we go. One final look. There's Ted still. There he is. From Little Comberton Church in Worcestershire.